Hello, witches. I'm back again with a new topic. I'm going to go ahead and turn this light off. Alright, guys. I have a new topic that was brought to me, asked about by one of my close friends, one of my sisters in Hecate, Bettina. She was asking about writing your own spells. And that's a really good topic. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right in. When it comes to writing your own spells, you definitely need to get to that point in your practice where you are writing your own spells every time for your magic. I'm going to tell you why. It's more powerful because everybody has different associations to the words that we use. So what do I mean by that is that, for instance, as an example, the word witchcraft. Okay, a lot of people of the Judeo-Christian mindset have negative associations to the word witchcraft. So to them, the word witchcraft means something specifically evil or bad or whatever. They will have negative associations to it, and it will have that meaning to them. Now, on the opposite end, a lot of witches and pagans and metaphysical people and magical practitioners, and whenever they say the word witchcraft, they will have a lot of positive associations to the word witchcraft, so it means something different to them compared to like the Judeo-Christian mindset. And it's like that with every word. And now even among for instance, even among the pagan and witch community, the word witchcraft, each witch or each person will have their own associations and meanings to that word. So it will mean something very specific and different to each person. Now, there's probably groups of people that would view it similarly. It would mean pretty much the same thing. But my point is that each person does have their unique meaning to every single word. So that is why you need to get to the point in your practice where you're writing your own spells, invocations, everything that you do. If you write it yourself, it's more better and more powerful because you know the exact meanings that you have to each word that you're using in the spell that you write. So you definitely need to get to that point. Let's see. I mean, this is going to be at an emotional level even, that you will have feelings towards every single word that you use and that you know. And that's another major reason why you need to be writing your own spells, because we each have a different emotional attachment to each word. So that's another reason that you do need to get to this point, and that it is more powerful, because in magic, a lot of the reason why magic works, again, I'm going to reference back to my video, The Witch's Pyramid, it's about raising your emotional awareness and kind of channeling that in. Did y'all hear that pop? It happens a lot here with the spirits. But anyways, it has a lot to do with channeling your emotional awareness and your emotional energy in directing it towards your spell or your magic. So that's another major reason why you need to use your own words, or at least get to the point to where you can start to use your own words to elicit the correct emotions from you. Okay, so what about when it comes to actually writing the spell? Because that's specifically what Bettina was asking about, was she was wanting to know about how to even write a spell. Okay, So now that we talked about why it's important to write your own spells, it's time to talk about how to do it. Okay, there's some points that you're going to need to make in every spell that you write, in every invocation that you write, in every sort of magical ritual, whatever that you're writing. You need to hit on specific points or keys in the spell itself. And I'm going to go in order usually of how I do it. There might be others who do it differently, but everything that I share on my videos and on my channel is always going to be my own gnosis and experience, unless I specifically say this is from someone else. So this is how I write spells, and the order of the points that I hit on. Now, everyone who writes a spell is going to have to hit on the same points, but this is just the order that I do it in. First of all, if you're working with a god or a goddess or a spirit or a deity of any kind, that's the first thing I always address when I write a spell. Most of the time it's goddess Hecate. So first of all, I would always, in my own words, call on her and her power to be present with me in the beginning of the spell. So for you, if you're working with a different god or goddess, I know that Bettina works with Hecate as well, but for others who are watching this, if you work with different deities or spirits, the first thing you do is you would, in your own words, call on that deity and their power to be present with you at the beginning of the spell and throughout the entire spell, basically. And this is going to be in your own words, so I can't really tell you exactly how to write it. But for an example, I would say, gracious Hecate, divine goddess of magic, I call your power and invoke thee. That's like the first line, okay? Just as an example. So that's like the first point you need to make if you're even working with a god or a goddess. Okay, second, how I do it usually, if I'm working with an element or a different energy, like earth, air, fire, water, spirit, or if I'm working with energy like darkness, light, whatever, that's the second point I always make, is to call on that element or energy and to be present with me and to lend their power. So, and once again, that's going to be in your own words. So for instance, as another example, I would say, powers of the deep earth, rise up, lend your power to me and towards my spell as I evoke thee. That's the second line. Okay? So, that's basically what you do, but once again, it's going to be in your own words, because you need to be saying it in the way that is the exact intention of what you're trying to do with the spell, because only you will know that, and you're going to use the words that elicit the strongest emotion from you. Because once again, with the Witch's Pyramid, you're going to be using, I'm going to say that again, with the Witch's Pyramid, go back and watch my video of the Witch's Pyramid so you know everything that you need to be employing when you're even casting a spell or doing magic. Because when you're doing a spell, you're also using your visualization along with it. So the reason why you use your own words in a spell is because when you visualize something, you need to be able to feel it, like it's actually happening in that moment. So you use words that are emotionally evocative to you so that you can more easily feel the emotion you're trying to feel. So you're going to know what words are the most emotionally evocative to you. So that's what you're going to use. Like I said, rise up, powers of the earth, because to me, that really has like an emotional weight to it of a rising up, from the earth. That speaks to my soul and to my emotions. It may be different for you. You may have to say it in a different way. And it's like that with every power that you're calling on and all that. Okay, the next point that you need to make is the reason or the intention of your spell. So you're going to have to say that in your own words. So to keep with my example, I called on Hecate, I called on the powers of earth. So just to say that I'm doing the spell for protection, the next thing that I would say, that with protection would be my intention. So the next point I need to make is communicating in my own words what the intention is. So I would say something like, shield me, protect me, build a wall of impenetrable strength around me. See how that's keeping in line, kind of keeping in flow with the earth element. So basically you're going to do it like that. Whatever power you're calling on, you're going to go ahead and say your intention in your own words, but you're going to say it in words that elicit to you the same emotions of that element, or of that energy that you've called upon. You see what I mean? So you're going to do it like that. So once you say, okay, once you've called the god, or the deity, once you call the element, once you've said your intention, then the next thing that you need to do is direct it. You need to add direction to it. So to keep with the example, I would say something like, as the hang on a second, guys. You really need to put thought into it when you're writing a spell, because like I said, you need to make sure that you're hitting on the words that will it needs to be all harmonious together, like everything needs to fit together with the energies that you're calling on, and then the emotions and the words that you're using need to elicit similar emotions, because it's like a building up. So I would say something like, deep powers of protection take root and grow strong around me as the moon waxes. Something like that, or as the earth turns, grows stronger. Something like that. You just keep with the overall flow of exactly what the spell is, but hit on these key points of calling on the deity, calling on the power of the element or whatever, saying the intention, and then directing it into what it's going to be doing. And the next thing is really the final part, will be like the affirmation, which would usually, I would just say, so mote it be, or it is done. But once again, you need to say it in your own words. But the last thing that you say in the spell needs to be from a point of authority, that whatever you have said previously in the spell is now done. Period. Like you need to establish and affirm that the spell is complete in whatever way, in your own words. Whether you're saying amen, it is done, so mote it be, blessed be, whatever, ashe, selah, whatever it is, you need to affirm that spell is complete. That's basically the main points that you need to hit on in a spell. Like I said, it all needs to be in your own words. Now, once again, I did this example with like one sentence for each of those key points, but really you can make it as long as you want. You can put as many sentences to each point as you desire to. You could call on every single element rather than just calling on earth. However you want, really. So, once again, that's all going to depend on exactly what you're trying to do with the spell and what powers you want to call on for the spell. So you can make it as long or as short as you want. You can make it to rhyme. I sometimes do spells that rhyme, which requires more contemplating and thought energy into it, which probably even makes it more powerful when you do it that way. But it doesn't have to. You can just do a spell that's all prose, which if you do not know what the word prose means, it means just like writing a paragraph. There's no rhyming. You're just writing it sentence after sentence. I do spells that way a lot as well. That's basically it. If there's something I didn't cover, go ahead and ask me, or if there's something else that you wanted to know about to do with writing spells, go ahead and ask me in the comments. I hope this answers your question, Bettina. And I hope this is helpful to anyone else that was wondering about writing your own spells. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now because I really want to talk about Hecate, and that's the next thing I'm going to be talking about. So, like I said, if you have questions or if you just have a comment to make about this, go ahead and do that. I would love to hear from you. Hail to the witches, you guys, and blessed be.